Hello there, friends. It's Jimmy Maverick, and it is Sunday night, the 27th of July. We are going to do a mock draft right now on ESPN. Drafting from the 6th position, PPR. We're going to see what kind of team we can build today. And we are going to be using my app, My Perfect Fantasy Draft, which you can access exclusively through my website, fantasyfootballmaverick.com. I encourage you to go there today and check the app out. Get a subscription. I'm telling you, it's going to make a huge difference in your game this season. Now, obviously, we are still very early in training camp, but there has been a lot of stuff going on in the league, a lot of injuries. You got AJ Green out 6 to 8 weeks. Obviously, that's a huge downgrade to his production and his ratings, but a nice boost to Tyler Boyd and even John Ross. Likewise, you've got someone like Derrick Henry, who's a person I very much like to draft this season, but right now he is injured, walking around in a walking boot. Okay, so my general rule is I do not draft injured players. And when a player gets the injury designation, they typically, what happens is they move down my list and they no longer are recommended. So what I need to see from these players, full participant. That is going to be the key to when I know it's going to be safe to draft Derrick Henry again. All right. And the reason I'm such a stickler about injuries is because you can't believe the coaches, you can't believe the player. The only thing you can believe is if they are listed as a full participant in practice. That's how you know they're all the way back. And until I see that in the news, I will not remove the injury designation from their name. And you can see that like Cam Newton, who is a player I very much like, but he is not a full participant. He has not been fully cleared. So until that happens, he's not going to be on my draft list. He's not going to be one of the players that I recommend. So the draft is just starting. We are going to go ahead and we are going to use My Perfect Fantasy Draft. You log in, you have to answer 3 questions to get it set up. First question is, how does your league score points? Well, this is a PPR league. And then, do you want to engage Jimmy's recommended player filters? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And then, do you want to enter draft mode? So in this case, yes. So we go 12-team league, picking 6th. We'll go enter draft mode. And so you can see here's the player list right here. Here's the position filters up top. Draft mode's going to kick in and these tabs pop up. This represents each round of your draft. So here's the first round of the draft. Here's the 6th round. Here's the 11th round. We're just going to follow this through and we're going to pick our favorite player at each round. Now, as far as recommendations, I'm just going to minimize that. So it just shows the names of who it's recommending. And then down below, you got the player list. And what you're seeing on the player list here, when I'm looking at pick 1, which for us is pick number 6, right, in round 1. I'm seeing all the players between our first pick and our second pick. So our second pick is at pick number 19. And if you look at the expected draft position of players here, we actually see players drafted from pick number 3 to pick number 20. So there's a little bit of overlap on each side of the draft. And instead of being sorted by the draft position, though, it's sorted by what I call the VORC score. So the VORC score is basically, they are rated on 4 different items here. Okay, so you've got, sorry, let me just fix this. You've got VORC stands for value, outlook, reliability, and consistency. It's these 4 columns right here. And based on how they score on each of these criteria, they get points. So you see Alvin Kamara is at the top. But he has a little gun next to his name, which means he's a long shot. He's not likely to make it to our pick. Less than 50-50 shot, right? But it is recommending Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster. Those are the highest scoring VORC players on this round. I think, though, I want to start with a running back. And so if we look at running backs, so it's almost to our pick. You can see Kamara and Zeke are the highest rated players, but again, probably won't make it to us. Melvin Gordon is next, and I'm just going to stay away from Melvin right now just because of the issue with the potential holdout and how it could go into the regular season. But David Johnson, right there. Obviously he doesn't score as well on the VORC score as someone like Devontae Adams or Travis Kelce, but we need to anchor our team with an elite running back. And so I love the idea of going with David Johnson. There he is right there. We'll just get him queued up. And of course, if he was to go, the next person below him would be Joe Mixon, right? So let's just queue up Joe Mixon as well. And, the other thing I like to do is on the recommendations, I like to queue up those players when I'm done with my favorites. So we'll queue up Adams, Kelce, and Juju. And I do that because if they somehow make it to the next round, they would be a fantastic steal. That is a major steal if they make it to our next pick. Chances are they won't. Our next pick is pick number 20. All the the latest rated guy is Juju Smith-Schuster, scheduled to be gone on the 19th pick. So again, they probably wouldn't make it to us. But you can see David Johnson is there. Who else is up here? Le'Veon Bell. There's Melvin Gordon, right? So I think we're good. I think we start with David Johnson. Great option. Certainly this offense is going to be interesting this year. I'm not sure how good the team's going to be, but it's going to be a lot of passing. David Johnson is a fantastic pass catcher, and he's going to have his opportunities on the ground because defenses are going to have to play to stop the pass. That's how that team's going to be built, right? So I think he's a great choice. And so all we need to do now on the app is just go to round 2, and let's take a look at who the recommended players are in round 2. So you can see we got more receivers, and this is very common with PPR, right? You've got Mike Evans, wide receiver, George Kittle, tight end, T.Y. Hilton, wide receiver. All these guys are fantastic options. I like all of them. They offer great value. I mean, if you look at someone like Mike Evans, his value rank is 14th overall, but we could get him with the 19th pick. That means he's undervalued relative to his draft position. That's the kind of players that you really want to focus on when you're looking at these things. George Kittle is probably not as well rated. Yeah, look, his value is rated 28th, but he's so strong with his reliability and consistency that he scores very well on the Vork score. Likewise, T.Y. Hilton is also right here. He scores 21st overall for value, so certainly a fair value pick when you're looking at pick number 19, right? So those are all really good choices. Let's go ahead and get them queued up. So Evans, Kittle, and Hilton. Let's see here. Evans and Kittle and Hilton, I'm sorry, Hilton, not Houston, T.Y. Hilton, there we go. So we got him on the queue, and you can see I still got a ways to go before our next pick. It's always very slow at the beginning of these drafts. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pause the video till we're within 3, and then we'll see where we're at and who's still available. All right, and it's almost back to me, and you can see that really most of my guys are still on the board. Look at this, Mixon still there, Kelsey, Evans is there. Evans is my number 1 choice for this round. I would be very tempted to take Mixon if he somehow makes it to me. I doubt it, though. We still have 3 picks to go. Kelsey's probably going to be gone as well. As you can see, he's right at the top of the board. So here we go. Oh, yeah, look at that. Kelsey just got taken. Speak of the devil. But let's go ahead and just get ready to take Evans. Evans certainly offers the best value. If we look at Mixon, if we look at his value, Mixon is a really good value too, 18th, right? So again, both Mixon and Evans are great choices. And certainly going running back is not a bad strategy this year. I always tend to like to take, an elite wide receiver in the second round because there's still so many good ones available. But it would not be bad for me to take Mixon instead and then maybe take a wide receiver in the third round where I might be able to get T.Y. Hilton, if I'm lucky, right? Chances are it would probably be more someone like Cooks or someone like that would be available. But let's just see what happens here. This guy certainly seems to be taking his time. But Mixon, it looks like he will make it to us. And look, Connor's still on the board. Connor's a great choice. Dalvin Cook, I love the opportunity. I don't trust the reliability with him, right? That's the big issue with Dalvin Cook. He rates very well on my app for consistency. Consistency and for outlook and for value. Man, he's a good value player. Oh, look, someone just took him. How about that? I'm just talking about him. Someone heard me and they took him. All right, so let's go ahead. Like I said, we've got David Johnson. Let's get our elite wide receiver, Mike Evans. Love him. Love his opportunity this year. But certainly Connor or Mixon would have been a great option. So let's just go to the third round here. Now, third round, we're at pick number 30. So it is recommending Brandon Cooks, Patrick Mahomes, right? If you want to take a quarterback early, I personally never do, but if you do, this is when you would need to take him, right? Phillip Lindsay, that's a running back I very much like. He'd be a great RB2. You can also see long shot for Nick Chubb, who would be a massive steal at pick 30. If somehow he made it to us, he's going right at around 28th. That's his normal pick. But the value that he offers is great. Damian Williams is another good choice. So why don't we, Philip Lindsay, unfortunately, his value isn't great for the third round, right? We're at pick number 30. His value rank is 45th. So that's not very good. He'd be better in the fourth round if we could wait until then to get him. So let's queue up Chubb and Williams. I like that idea. And let's see here. Chubb, who is already gone, so that doesn't matter. All right, but let's go Damian Williams, get him queued up. And then we can also get Philip Lindsay queued up. And then the other guys were Cooks and Mahomes. Let's just go ahead and queue them up too. Let's see here. Cooks and Mahomes, right? And I don't see how there's any leagues this season that I'm going to have Mahomes on my team. He helped me win my one league last year. I love him. I got him in the, like the 11th round or something crazy like that. It was amazing. But this year he's so expensive, and that's the big issue. And is he going to do 50 touchdowns again? History says no. History says no on the follow-up years when a quarterback has a historically good year, and that counts. So anyway, so you could see, look, George Kittle's still on the board. Kittle's a great choice. There's Cooks. Let's see here. And, did Damian Williams get taken? Damian Williams, yes, he just went off the board, which is kind of a bummer. Let's see here. Who else is now? Look, there's Derrick Henry again, a guy who I very much like, but who is currently injured, and so I'm just not sure I trust the ability of taking a player like that. Let's see here. If we're looking at other players, they're just not offering great value here. Aaron Jones does, but he's very poorly rated on a number of factors. I think what I'm going to do is let's go and grab an elite tight end. I got to say, it works out very well for me when I do this. An elite running back, an elite wide receiver, an elite tight end. That's a great way to start your team. And I've totally won using that strategy. Last year especially, man, I took Saquon Barkley in the first round. I took Michael Thomas in the second round. And I took Travis Kelce in the third round. Let me tell you what, those three guys carried my team to the championship, and I won. So it's a perfectly legitimate strategy to take. Obviously the concern is, with running backs, is the running backs are so thin this year, man. I mean, it is by pick 60, basically every startable running back is off the board. There's like maybe one or two left after that point. So you got to load up on running backs. And I think that definitely needs to be our focus in the fourth round. And so in the fourth round, you can see, obviously Philip Lindsay is still on our list. He is a long shot. We got James White, who is a good option for PPR. I don't particularly recommend him just because I don't trust New England running backs before pick 100. Aaron Jones, also a long shot. But look, there's David Montgomery. There's a guy that I definitely want to focus on and get. And look, there's Sony Michel, another New England running back. Again, not really interested. But let's put David Montgomery on our queue list there because I think he's a great option. Who is the app recommending? Chris Godwin, DJ Moore, Alshon Jeffrey. Those are all fine wide receiver twos. Let's go ahead and get them queued up as well because, I always do this just because it's good to see the prior recommendations. Let's see, who else do we have? Moore and Jeffrey. That's right. Moore and Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey, there he is. Okay, so we are looking good right now. You can see Philip Lindsay is still on the board, but we got a ways to go before our next pick. I'm going to pause till we're within 3, and then we'll see where we're at. All right, we're back. And, okay, so really the only person that came off the board was that was on our list was Brandon Cooks. That's fine. Look, Mahomes is still on the board, which is amazing. As a fourth-round pick, that's actually not a bad option. We could totally take Mahomes, and then we've got an elite quarterback. So we got 4 elite level players on this team. That is what I call positional advantage. That is going to give you an advantage on every week to week basis because Mahomes every week is going to be the number 1 quarterback rated for that week. It's just going to be like almost an automatic, right? So Mahomes is still on the board. Lindsay made it to us. So Lindsay was the long shot that made it to us. Montgomery is sitting here on the board, and you can see that he is listed at 61 right now. On my app, Montgomery is 52. So our next pick is 54, so he would not make it back to us. Certainly I like them both, right? But I kind of like the upside of Montgomery on that offense because Chicago's going to be a great offense. Denver, not as great an offense, and I don't like Flacco at all. So I am going to go ahead. I'm going to take Montgomery as my RB2. I think that's a fantastic option. Now let's go to the 5th round here and see who we're looking at. So you can see who's it recommending. Tyler Boyd, Robbie Anderson, Jarvis Landry. Again, very heavy with wide receivers, PPR, you see that. But these are all quality wide receiver twos, man. You cannot go wrong with any of those guys this season. But let's see here. As far as running backs go, you got Kenyon Drake, who has been one that I've been very much recommending up to this point, but he is not doing, he's not getting as good of reports as Kalen Ballage in Miami. Kalen Ballage is getting like first team reps and stuff. So it's kind of a situation in flux. Not sure I would be wanting to take him. Again, you can see David Montgomery is the long shots, but we already got him, so it's no big deal. Tariq Cohen, Darius Geis. I'm not really recommending either of these guys right now, although Geis did come off his injury designation, so that is good to see, and he could be a good pick here in the 5th round. But I kind of like the idea. Let's go with a wide receiver. Let's get ourselves one of these top-notch receivers. Boyd's value certainly went up due to the A.J. Green injury. So let's go Boyd, Anderson, and Landry. Let's just queue them all up. Boyd already taken. See, he's already moving up. Anderson, he should still be there, right? And then Jarvis Landry. And, all right, we'll get, okay. All right, so, wow, look at that. Our Q list just totally cleared out on this last round, right? So the only one that still carries over is either Landry or Anderson. If I had to pick between the two, geez, they're both really, really good. But if we look at just the wide receivers, Robbie Anderson is giving us value of 47th, right? So that's good value. Landry is 57th. So Landry doesn't offer as much value. So let's go ahead. We're going to take the value pick. We're going to take Robbie Anderson as our wide receiver 2. Again, great 1-2 punch there with the wide receivers. I really like that. So let's jump to the 6th round here. And here's I think we need to get ourselves Tevin Coleman, right? We need to get at least one more startable running back. And Coleman certainly has flex value, right? So we got Coleman, we got Luck. Here's another elite quarterback we could take. That's a great option. Aaron Rodgers, another elite quarterback. So there are some great choices here in the 6th round. Let's go ahead and just get them queued up. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to take Coleman with the idea that both Luck and Rodgers are on the board, because I think, again, you get yourself, someone like Luck or Rodgers, they're going to be perennial top 3s, right? Top 3 on the ratings, right behind Patrick Mahomes, and a positional advantage, right? So Rodgers, let's see here. Is he still there? He sure is. So we got him queued up. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause the video till we're within 3. We'll see where we're at, and we will make our decision. All right, so it's coming back to us here. So look at this. Jarvis Landry still on the board. Darius Geis still on the board. These are 2 quality players who would be a great take at the 6th pick, right? But you can see here's Luck's on the board, Rodgers is on the board, Coleman's there. Obviously, I don't want Coleman if Geis is there. I think Geis would be great as a flex running back. I think he certainly has upside. You've also I queued up a couple more guys from this round. D.D. Westbrook, Christian Kirk as wide receiver options. They weren't high enough to be on the recommended list, but they were right below it. So I put them up here just so we could see them. But I'm kind of liking the idea of going with an elite quarterback at this point. To have someone that's positionally advantaged each week, that is such a boon to your team. And usually I like to wait as long as possible for a quarterback. But, again, it's these guys being available here is just an amazing steal, right? So it's really kind of hard to say. Obviously, I only have 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs at this point, going for depth on that. And we're at pick number 67. Jarvis Landry had a value of 57th, so we're getting some nice value there. Darius Geis, again, he's not on my recommended list yet, but I got to say in the 6th round, his value rank is 53rd. So, again, he's someone who could be very good for the team. Oh, this is kind of difficult. Oh, it is our pick. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go with an elite quarterback. I love Andrew Luck. I love that offense this year. I think he's going to be fantastic. And I think I just got to take the win, take the positional win there. And so let's jump to the 7th round here and see where we're sitting at, right? So in the 7th round, look, here's another great quarterback. Look at that, Baker Mayfield. We could have taken him in the 7th round. That's a great option. Austin Eckler, Dante Pettis. Mayfield, I'd say, is a top 6 quarterback, right? So you're talking about not elite level, but near elite level production from him. Eckler obviously getting a lot of buzz right now with the Melvin Gordon holdout. I think he's he's very expensive right now. Look, his value is terrible, 153rd, which means he's basically not startable unless Gordon isn't playing. And, so I can't really just picture taking a bench option at this point. Dante Pettis, another quality wide receiver. Let's just look at the wide receivers here real quick. There's D.D. Westbrook, value rank of 58th, right? Christian Kirk, 79th. Dante Pettis, 67th. Dante Pettis offers some nice value as well. So let's add Pettis to our list. We will go ahead and who else was on that list? Oh, well, Mayfield, we don't really need to get. Eckler, right? I'll just put him on the queue, but I really don't have any chance to take him. But right now he's just getting bid up way too high. I would never take him this early. He's a guy that's better suited for after the 10th round, like the 11th or 12th round, but it's all because of the Gordon holdout thing. I do not believe that Melvin Gordon will sit out the entire season because he is still under contract. That's a big difference between his situation and Le'Veon Bell's. Le'Veon Bell was not under contract. So because Melvin Gordon is under contract, not only will he not be paid, but he's subject right now to a $40,000 a day fine for not showing up for training camp. So this is going to add up very quickly. That's over $250,000 a week. This is going to get resolved before the season starts. I'm just count on it, right? So, anyway, so what we got going on here, Tevin Coleman still on the board. That's actually kind of nice. There's Dede, there's Christian, there's Dante. They're all right in a row. Like I said, as far as the value difference between the three, Dede offers the best value, 58th. That's nearly, look at that. We're at pick 78. That's nearly 2 full rounds of value. That is absolutely the kind of player that you want on your team. Certainly, they got an upgraded quarterback. Hopefully, Leonard Fournette is better this year. There's a lot of good stuff that's going to be happening for the Jacksonville Jaguars offense. I like the idea of going with Dede at this next point as soon as B-Song makes his decision. But let's see here. Is there anyone else here that's really throwing me? Now, look, here's Miles Sanders. This is a guy right now, absolutely do not touch that guy. He is fumbling. He is not good in pass protection, and he is going to get buried on the depth chart as a result. Really, Jordan Howard is the guy you want to target on that. But even with Jordan Howard, he doesn't offer a lot of value because of his lack of pass catching skills. And this is PPR. So he really doesn't offer a lot of value. He's the wrong kind of player for a PPR league. But anyway, looks like B-Song's going to take his full allotment of time to make a decision for us. There we go. So let's go ahead. We'll take the highest value player that we can get, Dede Westbrook. Great steal there. And this is one thing else why I don't really go for wide receivers early, man, because it's just so deep. It's such a deep position. Dede Westbrook is offering you low-end RB2 production here in the 7th round. I mean, you just can't beat that, right? So let's look at the next round here. We got Fitzgerald. We got Vance McDonald, a tight end. But, of course, we already got Kittle. I never take a second tight end in a league unless there's a super deep bench, like a 10-slot bench. So we don't need to worry about him. But N'Keal Harry, another one of my favorite rookie receivers for this year. So let's queue up Fitzgerald and Harry, put them on the list. Fitzgerald and Harry. All right, we'll get them both queued up. That looks good. It's almost back to us already, so that's good. These drafts always start out so slow, but then they start going really rapidly. There's Eckler, right? Look, Rashad Penny's still on the board. There's Jordan Howard, as I was saying. But again, look at, as projected points, he's just not even as good as Austin Eckler. And Austin Eckler has terrible value for this game. So, again, these are guys, don't even bother with them, man. They're just not even flex worthy, man. And unless something happens, unless something catastrophic happens, Melvin Gordon sits out, then Austin Eckler is great, right? He's a RB2 minimum, right? But you can't count on that. And we're still really early in the draft. These middle rounds are very critical to building up your roster and making sure that it's deep. And that's when you're in 12-team and larger leagues, you need depth more than anything else because the waiver wire just sucks, right? So we're back to our thing. And look, Fitzgerald's on the board. Harry's on the board. Who's offering us better value right now? So Fitzgerald offers value 64th. Again, fantastic. That is so good. In Keel, 72, also very, very good. Do I want to go for the veteran, an established veteran, or do I want to go for a high-flying rookie? I think we've got 3 awesome receivers right now, so I'm going to be a little bit more speculative. I am going to take in Keel. I'm going to take him. He's our 4th wide receiver, and seriously, I think his upside is wide receiver 2, right? I think he's great. New England lost so many targets last year with Gronk retiring and Chris Hogan gone, and Gordon is suspended, right? So that it's him. I mean, it's basically you've got Edelman in the slot, and you're going to have someone on the outside. He's going to be the guy on the outside, right? So all right, so let's go to the next. Let's go to the next round, 9th round. So. Again, here's some quality quarterbacks. Look, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, get him in the 9th round. Of course, we don't need a quarterback. We've got Andrew Luck, and he's awesome, right? So we don't need to worry about that. Curtis Samuel, another wide receiver. And I'm just going to look at the running backs this round. Again, you're talking very, very speculative plays. You got Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones, 2, terrible choices. Royce Freeman, maybe he'll carve out a bigger role. But look at these guys. None of these guys offer any value, right? I mean, Peyton Barber probably offers the best, but even then, not a startable value for a PPR league. So, I think I'm just going to bypass here. And what we're going to do is we're going to target some high upside rookie running backs in these later rounds and beef up our running back core that way. But let's go. And, if we look at wide receivers, certainly Curtis Samuel offers nice value. 80th, that's a great option. You got Cortland Sutton. He doesn't offer great value, so I'm not really interested in him. You got Kiki Kuti, who is, also pretty good, but Houston is a low volume pass offense, and he's the 3rd receiver on that offense. Just not great for your fantasy team. Emmanuel Sanders, there's a speculative play, but I don't think he's going to be ready to go for the start of the season. So I think Samuel is probably our best bet. Oh, look at that. It's already back to us. Oh, look, Fitz is still on the board. Well, shoot. I'm just going to take Fitz, man. I'm not even going to worry about it. So that's great. Okay, cool. Great. Fitzgerald, he was supposed to go in the 7th round, right? Sometimes this happens where they just stick around, offering value of 64th overall. Again, great option. So 10th round, what are we looking at? Jared Goff, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, a great wide receiver. Chicago Bears, right? If we want to go elite defense, this is when we would need to take it. And I kind of like the idea of going for the Bears at this point, I mean, I usually just, are they already gone? Let me see here. Bears, are you still on the board? They are still on the board. I'm usually the kind of guy that just streams defenses. But again, if we want to go for a positionally advantageous team, the Bears are probably the best option in the league as far as their defense goes. I like Marquez. Let's cue him up. Whoops, Marquez. How come it's not locating him? Oh, are we looking at? No. All right, I don't know what's going on here. Valdes. Let's see. Valdes. There he is. All right, let's cue him up. And let's also look at what running backs, so if we look at the running backs for this round, we got Breida, Royce Freeman, Damian Harris. Okay, so there's a running back that I really want to target. Damian Harris has a great opportunity here. I don't trust Sony Michel. And what I'd like to say is every game, every league where I've taken a New England running back before pick 100, I get burned. But every time I take a New England running back after pick 100, totally works out. Last season, Rex Burkhead was the guy in the top 100. Sony Michel was at pick 100, and James White was at pick like 142 or something crazy late like that. Guess who was the better ones to own, right? The ones you could get after pick 100. So look at this next round. Oh, here's another wide receiver who I very much like, Terrell Williams. We're getting pretty late here, but look, he still offers top 100 value. We're at pick 126, right? Terrell Williams, Austin Hooper. If we wanted to go a backup tight end to George Kittle, Hooper I think is a great option. The Buffalo Bills defense, there's another great defense. And then as far as running backs go, really there's only Kareem Hunt. So that's another speculative play, right? Can you afford to keep Kareem on your bench for 2 months, which I really don't want to deal with, so we won't even bother with that. But I got to say, Terrell Williams, I think he's got Michael Crabtree upside on that offense, man. I mean, he's playing opposite Antonio Brown. Great. I mean, he's awesome. And look, there's Marquez right there. So those guys are both right together, both high upside players. As far as Marquez, what is his? For Marquez, what is this? His value rank is 110, right? So Terrell offers much better value here. So I think I'm going to go, I'm definitely going to go Terrell. We'll take Terrell. And let's move on to the 12th round here. Look at this. Greg Olsen, tight end. Phillip Rivers, quarterback. Look, you can get Phil Rivers in the 12th round, man. That's awesome. New England Patriots, one of my favorite defenses, just because they have such a favorable schedule, especially in the first month of the season. But let's look at what running backs are available this round. Kalen Ballage. Now, there's a great guy that's getting a lot of buzz right now. Why don't we just take a shot on Kalen, man? I mean, come on. If he doesn't work out, who cares? This is a 12th round pick. I'll totally take that every day of the week. Who else do we have here? I mean, again, we don't need a second tight end. We don't need a second quarterback. I'll put the Patriots up so we can see them on because they might last a little bit longer. So, all right. So I'm just going to pause till we're within 3, and then we'll see where we're at. All right, it came back to me very quickly. Look, Marquez is still on the board. That's great. But like I said, we need to beef up our running backs. We need more running backs. We only have, how many do we have right now? We only have 3. Jeez. Okay, so we're definitely going to we're going to get ourselves Ballage. And again, he might have some flex value, especially once the bye weeks start, and certainly he's a much better value than Kenyon Drake is, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll take Ballage, and let's go to the 13th round. And we got Mohamed Sanu. We got Dion Lewis. That's a great PPR running back, by the way. Kirk Cousins, great quarterback. We don't really need another one of those. I like the idea of going with Dion Lewis. Let's put him on the queue. And Dion Lewis, we'll queue you up, buddy. And as far as, what else is happening on this round for wide receivers, there's Paris Campbell is a great high upside wide receiver that I very much like. Let's see here. None of these other guys are really singing to me. I mean, Mohamed Sanu offers top 100 value. Anthony Miller, who's injured right now, so I don't take injured players, right? They're kind of off my list. Sanu is also a great option if we wanted to go wide receiver, but I think we're doing just fine with our wide receivers right now. We already got 6, so I don't think we need to take any more. Oh, and look, it's back to us. Okay, so Dion Lewis, I'm just going to filter it just for running backs. So see if there's anyone else. Look, there's Jalen, no, I don't like Jalen. Excuse me, Jalen Samuels. That's the one I like. All right, so we'll take Dion. We'll take Dion. I think he's, again, offers some flex value there. And again, also, Derrick Henry injured, right? So we could see some more there. All right, so no recommended players on the 14th round. Now, how many more bench slots do I have to fill here? I think I'm down to 1 more. All right, so we got to go for a really high-end running back. Someone who could really make a difference. Obviously Jalen Richard is good. I'm just going to jump to the next round and see. Someone who I really want to get is Justice Hill. And so let's go Jalen Samuels. Let's get him queued. And let's also go Justice Hill right there. Okay. We'll queue those 2 guys up. We'll get one of them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to take the kicker and defense. We'll come back. We'll review the team. I like this team a lot. This is a really solid team. All right, so we're back, and I gotta say, I very much like this team. I think this team would do very well this season. I ended up taking Jalen Samuels with my last regular pick, and then I got the Eagles defense and George Tavecchio, the Atlanta kicker, who's going to be kicking in a dome like all season long. That's exactly what I like to get. Good offense, plays in a dome. That's the kind of kicker that I like to get. Okay, so let's just review the team right now. So for our running backs, David Johnson, David Montgomery, and then we've got Damian. Let's see here. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. David Johnson, David Montgomery, and then Damian Harris, Kalen Ballage, Dion Lewis, Jalen Samuels. All right. So again, it would have been good to get at least one more running back in those first 5 picks. So that is, a little bit of a weakness on this team, but I think at least one of these running backs that I chose late are going to break out. They're all very good options to break out. Wide receivers, very deep. Mike Evans, Robbie Anderson, Dede Westbrook, and N'Keal Harry, Larry Fitzgerald, Terrell Williams. The one thing to know about all those guys is every single one of them rank in the top 100 for value. Okay, so every single one of them basically has at least flex value. And this is a PPR league, and so what I'm probably going to end up doing is starting 3 wide receivers every week and only 2 running backs, just because of the makeup of this team. Our tight end is George Kittle, top 3 every single week. Our quarterback, Andrew Luck, top 3 every week. This is a damn fine team, I got to say. Like I said, a little bit weak at running back, but I'm so happy with the rest of the makeup of this team that I am not worried at all. And again, it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to start only 2 running backs each week and go with that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it. Please go to my website. Again, it is fantasyfootballmaverick.com. This app is absolutely going to give you the edge on draft day, helping you make those critical draft day decisions when you're on the clock and needing to choose, who should I pick? Notice how easy it was, right? We had recommendations. We looked at the player list. We looked at player value ranks. It's all very easily laid out, and it's set up so that when you're looking at a group of players, those are the most likely players to be taken in that next round, right? So you've got to pick one. This is going to help you find the best. So thank you very much for watching once again. Hope you had a good time, and I'll be posting a lot more of these before the fantasy season starts. So thanks very much. Please subscribe, and happy drafting, everybody.